Hey everyone, it's Leica. Welcome back to the Witch's Den. So today I thought I would come to you guys and talk to you guys a little bit about eggshells. And you heard me right, eggshells. So, what can eggshells be used for? Eggshells can be used to help cleanse, to help protect. Um, what I do with them is once I use them, I rinse them off, and you don't have to. You can leave whatever yolk or egg white or whatever's in there and just let it dry. The key is that whether you rinse them or you leave the egg and stuff in there after you crack them, that you have to let them completely dry completely. So I have some here, and I use a mortar and pestle that I actually got at a tiny little antique store in Welda, Kansas. I paid like $10 for it. It's really heavy, like I think it's brass, but it's actually like a prescription, what they used to use to crush up prescriptions and stuff with. So it's kind of old, but and it came with both the mortar and the pestles. So which I thought was really cool for $10 because if you guys have ever went shopping for a mortar and pestle, you'll know that they're not that cheap. They are actually very expensive at witchy shops. So what I do is I put all my eggshells into my mortar and pestle here, and this one I use specifically for grinding up eggshells. And I just take, and over time, with every bit of eggshell that I use, I just put it in there. And when I'm really anxious or I'm nervous or I just don't have very much to do and I'm just wanting to kind of relax and calm down, I'll come back here and I actually grab this and I just start crushing them. And it takes a while, and it seems like you would think that a dozen eggs would give you like a lot of crushed powder, and it doesn't, because the more you crush the eggs, the eggshells, the more you have to crush them very fine. And so your egg that might be this big ends up, giving you about this much powder because of the way you crush it. And so it takes a while, but I wanted to go over some of the different properties that you can use them in. So you can find recipes online. I actually like the recipe that Lady Gravedancer uses in her magical eggshell powder, I think is what it's titled. If you guys don't know who Lady Gravedancer is, I highly recommend you go and subscribe to her. I've been subscribed to her for years, and I've learned a lot from her. She's an awesome witch. She's an awesome lady, and she's got some wonderful, wonderful tips and really, really good recipes on her channel. So but you can use it, grind it up, and use the rest of one of her recipes or one that you find on your own to make chalk, to write any magical symbol you need. You can use it for protection to sprinkle around your house. You can cast a circle with it. Use it to cast a circle on the ground before you do your rituals or spell work. Something that people forget is that you can also use eggshells for like in your plants in your garden, to help enrich the soil that your plants are growing on. One of the things you can do is if you're doing a specific magical working that you've got, or a very special one that calls for eggshells, or you just want to use some extra protection within that magical working, you can also grind up and add herbs to it to help with that. But eggshells are for protection, cleansing, and purification. Something else that you can do, and that they used to do, was they would have somebody that was very sick carry around an egg with them for 24, 48 hours or whatever, and then you would take the egg and you would crack it open, and then you would bury it in the ground. And it was said that if you bury it and burn the eggshell, that it would like during a healing spell, it would take the like whatever was wrong, the disease or whatever, with it. and so that it would help heal the person that the disease was attacking. Eggshells are a great symbol also for fertility for the wound. So it's a great symbol for female fertility in the womb. You could use it for protection when you're pregnant. If you have a specific, like if you have a high-risk pregnancy or something like that, you can use eggshells as a form of protection for that. Also, if you're wanting a little extra oomph to your spells when you're using your eggshells, you can add in powdered dragon's blood resin and just like a pinch or two of salt into it, and it just gives it that little extra oomph that you're needing. So I've been grinding for a little bit, as you guys have seen, for about almost 6 minutes now. And so far, we are not even at a dust yet. We are still at little tiny pieces. So it does take a while. It is time consuming to form it in a dust. You don't have to use a mortar and pestle. That's just what I prefer to do, just because I like to set my intention into it, and I like the extra work I put into it. To me, puts a piece of myself and my intention into it while I'm grinding. But you can also use, if you guys have like a grinder, a coffee grinder or some sort of grinder, you could put it in there and grind it up into a very fine dust and powder. It does take a while. There are times where I have to switch it out or add more to it, or try to use a hammer. Sometimes I put it in a bag and use a hammer to try to get the rest of it done. But yeah, that's my deal on eggshells and how to use them. Part of my religion and part of my practice is trying to reuse anything that I can reuse. Try to, reduce the amount of waste that we have on a daily basis. So if I can reuse something, I will. I use like candle jars and things like that. I'll reuse those all the time. Bottles, especially glass ones, I'll reuse all the time as much as possible. It's all about helping out the environment in my practice. I like to do that. So, but yeah, you don't have to grind it unless you're using it for like a chalk base. You don't have to grind it up into like a fine powder. If you don't want to. It's your workings, and it's your eggshells and your practice, so you do with it how you feel. But this is kind of like what we have right now. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring you down here a little bit. Like, there you go. That's what we have for eggshells right now. That's how I grind them. So I use them in, like I said, in protection, in purification, and in cleansing. Mostly protection is what I use it for. So I have every single egg that I crack, and I eat eggs every day. Me or my family do. We're on keto, so we eat a lot of eggs. So I tend to save those. And it doesn't matter what color it is. It can be the white eggs. It can be brown eggs. Some chickens, I believe, have green or blue eggs that they lay. And of course, around the holidays, you guys can get dyed eggs. And even though they're dyed, you can still use those. I've done it in the past. It's actually been really fun to get my kids involved in it. I'll give them a mortar and pestle, and they will go grinding down their colorful eggs that they've done. So, and I think it all works the same, to me anyway, in my practice. So, but yeah. There you go. I will tell you guys that grinding up the eggshells, it tends to get some dust that will fly up too. So make sure, try not to breathe that dust directly in, because it does get into your lungs and stuff. But yes, so use it for chalk to draw symbols. You can use it for protection around your house and your home. Sprinkle, pretty much like you do with salt. You can sprinkle, cast a circle with it. You can use it in your garden to enrich the soil. That's a really big one. It's helped out my plants tremendously. And you can grind up herbs in it too and use it in any special workings you want to do. So if you guys use eggshells, I want to know how you guys use them. If you guys have special recipes or special herbs you put in it that you found are really, really helpful, or a special spell you want to share, I want to hear about it. So let me know, guys. All right. Till next time, I'm going to keep doing this for a little bit, and then, yeah, and then I'll probably go sprinkle it around my house. So it rained the other day, so my house, I feel my house needs another circle of protection around it, so that's probably what I'll do. But all right, guys, I love you guys. Blessings to everybody, and I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Bye.